About the book, Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel, Volume 1 by R.H. Sin. It is a poetry book by R.H. Sin, a best-selling author from New York with a pen name R.H. that stands for Reuben Holmes, and Sin for the Mesopotamian god of moon that reflects upon his personality on his writing schedule, which he is fond of late-night writings. He dedicated the book to his fiancée that is now her wife. The book consisted of 3 parts: poetries for hurt and love for both storge and romantic love. From the poems I have read, I consider the book having 3 parts, with the progress of reading the book accelerating from hurt to understanding. And most of the poems in the book tackled an underrated category of love, which is the anticipating love. There are so many pieces of literature, media, songs, and arts, yet it is rare to find a piece that actually talks about anticipating love. Here are some thoughts from a second-year Bachelor of Language and Literature student from Far Eastern University, Joshua Labaton.
So when I first read it, I was not that familiar with R.H. Sin's works before, and I've probably come across some of his poems on Twitter or Instagram, as I read more classical literature or poetry in general. His work reminds me of Instagram poets like Ruby Kaur, which became controversial throughout the years, and I can kind of see her style in the same style in R.H. Sin's works. His works are short and concise, without bravado or the same complexity I'm familiar with from the works of Shakespeare or Charles Bukowski. In a nutshell, Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel 1 is a book, I think, that is made to appeal to the general mass, and it's meant to be posted on social media because almost all of the poems I've read in this book can be a caption or a quote to share on social media. Meanwhile, from a writer's perspective or a literature major perspective, it doesn't appeal to me as I can liken it to quotes or captions mashed up in one or more stanzas. It is so easily digestible, which is popular. Maybe because people don't have the time to really dissect a complex poem, as they just want some quick affirmations or things to post and share on social media for clicks. But the thing that I am concerned with from this Instagram poetry books is it kind of drags the reputation of poetry into an aesthetic set of words that looks pretty, sounds pretty, and direct to the point, which is kind of different from the poetry I'm used to. I believe poetry is not always meant to be just aesthetic. It has to be brutal, uncomfortable, disgusting sometimes, because not everything needs to be romanticized about. Now I can understand why people will enjoy these books, because it's the age of aesthetics basically, and quick grabs of wisdom found in pen and paper, as it is aesthetic too. And if people enjoy it, they can. But personally though, some stuff from the book seems shallow. And I'm not trying to demean the author, but anyone can write most of the poems found in a book. But what sets a poet different from a normal person is they can make the undescribable describable. They can write about reality for what it is. They can then explain feelings that people feel all the time and put it into words, because not everyone can put into words the things they experience. It takes a poet to do that. And that's all.
Overall, from reading the book to asking insights about it made me ponder more on poetry, perceiving it from different shoes. Quoting from Lobaton, poetry in this day of age indeed relies more on the aesthetics. Yet again, perceiving it from different points of view, these books are meant to be posted in social media as captions that makes it quotable. And for it to be quotable, it needs to be short and concise. Straightforward to be exact, since people do not have the time to dissect Shakespearean-like writings. Nonetheless, poetry is subjective. Besides poetry, I have realized that even in poetry, we can be critical on a small scale. I used to think some poems or films are good after watching it. But when I ask opinions from experts or enthusiasts of these fields, they say otherwise. In conclusion, to relate it in societal issues, it is always important to be critical and not be a bystander.